What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and look, I've had a week off, and I've enjoyed it actually. No stress from Everton, no upset. It's been nice. It's been really nice, and look, we go into the weekend. Obviously, we've got a tough game. We've got a big week, really, if you look at next week. But, I thought I'd just do a little bit of an overview of the week and some of the things I've read. I mean, I find it all ridiculous. So I have an app on my phone called Potato Streams. I mean, I don't know any, if you guys do, but it tells me the Everton news, and all I've been reading for the last 4 days is how Dele Alli's a failure, how Everton are gonna get rid of him. Um, read God knows how many times Frank Lampard is falling out with the Everton fans. Everton are after 20, 30, 40, 50 million pound players. Everton are going to make a last-ditch move for Koulibaly because apparently he's in contract talks with Napoli. We're 17th in the league. I mean, there's lazy journalism, and then there's sheer stupidity, patheticness, and that's that. That is that. What is the point of that? And some of the articles are absolutely ridiculous. You can literally tell they've gone right. Let's Google Everton 4 years ago, and let's go. Right, let's bring that article back to life. So all of a sudden Everton are getting linked with Koulibaly. There is literally nothing in that. Nothing. Zero. So ridiculous. I've read all sorts of things. I mean, Dele Alli. No, I mean, if assassination by newspaper is anything to go by, he'd finished. He'd be finished. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm Dele Alli's biggest fan, but I also don't think he needs the criticism that he's had after 6 substitute appearances. Bearing in mind how phenomenal he was 4 years ago or 3 years ago at Spurs. Is he the right player in a relegation battle? Well, at the minute, no. No, but to be honest, I could say half the Everton team isn't right for a relegation battle, so that isn't really on Dele Alli. So I can't criticise him for that. So that annoys me. That annoys me, the media side of things. And I've tried to stay off Twitter. I barely commented. I put a post out yesterday saying I've just had a week off. And I've enjoyed it. I've chilled. I watched the Formula One this weekend, so I had my little injection of sport. I've kept abreast with what's been going on in Ukraine and Russia and all the terrible news over there. So I've literally just tried to have a little bit of an Everton detox. And as I say, it's been lovely. It's been no stress, nothing. And then I said to myself yesterday, I said, right, I'm coming back tomorrow. I'm going to do a good video. And Everton release the financial results, and it's another negative. And you sit there and you're having an absolute laugh. And I think it works out now. Everton over 3 years have lost 372 million. It's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. If anything speaks volumes about the mismanagement of our club, recruitment, the board, the directors of football, it's absolutely scandalous. And we all go back 4 years ago to Koeman and Walsh and the signings that they made, etc. And look, I remember at the time I said we'd been set back 5 years. I said it then. I mean, it didn't get any better over the last 3 years. The recruitment's been scandalous. This season, you could argue that, bar January, the recruitment was all right. To be honest, you'd argue that the recruitment was all right. Damari Gray's come in. He's done okay. I think he scored 5 Premier League goals. Townsend, I think he scored 7 goals this season. Unfortunately, he got his cruciate ligament injury, which is going to rule him out for the rest of the season, and probably a while into next season as well, which is a shame for him. Bearing in mind, I think he's on a 2-year contract, so a shame, but it is unfortunately what it is in football. You can't necessarily argue with those two players. Rondon was a shocker, but we know that. So I didn't necessarily think the summer was too bad. January, I had real optimism. Donny van der Beek and Dele Alli coming in. I thought, yep, great. Nathan Patterson, again, showed what he's capable of for Scotland the other night. Very, very fantastic performance. I'll just give him credit. It was really good. I don't understand. Against a decent Poland side as well at that point, I think it was, and played really well. So, for me, I'd have no issues with giving Patterson a run over Coleman. Absolutely none whatsoever. And Mykolenko, who, let's be honest, has been poor. Before what's happened in Ukraine, he was poor. And after what's happened in Ukraine, it hasn't got better. And yet, I don't expect it. I'm not going to criticise him for it. It's very different than Patterson because although the league is different, he would be more accessible to the Premier League. He'd be more used to seeing it. It'd be more the pace of it. He'll be training with more people that play in the Premier League on a regular basis. Whereas Mykolenko, Ukraine, doesn't necessarily see the Premier League as much. There's not necessarily as many Ukrainians in the Premier League as there is in Scotland. So what I'm saying is, maybe it's just going to take him longer to adjust. Fine. It's a massive difference, Ukraine to Scotland. So I don't hold it against him, but they're probably your only negatives really at this point. There's no... January appeared to be a decent window, but I have my reservations now, unfortunately. I think we needed a centre-half more than we needed El Ghazi. And that is what I'm talking about, the mismanagement of this football team. And that is all on Farhad Mashira. I mean, El Ghazi could have been a centre-half. That simple. And, I think Everton need a bit robust in the middle of the park, something a bit solid, somebody who doesn't really move or doesn't try and play the ball out from the back, but just fucking wins it and clears it, gets it out, instead of piss-arsing about, putting pressure on ourselves and after 25 minutes falling apart. I just would have loved a centre-half who was just decent. We haven't got that. So that was a fundamental issue with January, and, as the season's progressed, it's got worse. It's very obvious it's got worse. It's got worse and worse and worse. There's been a little bit of a positive improvement at home under Frank, and then Wolves come, and we were really disappointing. And then we have these terrible away games, Spurs and Crystal Palace, and you sit there and you feel like I'm back at square one. And there's loads of people on Twitter who are still defending Rafa Benitez. There's people who are on Twitter saying they want Lampard out. There's people that are saying that, Carlo Ancelotti performed miracles last season. Well, I'd argue that the first 11 on a fit basis should be in the top 8. But they're not. They're nowhere near it. Richarlison is getting nowhere near as many goals. Calvert-Lewin's getting no service and equally no goals. It doesn't even... I'm hoping that these international break has really helped him because he's needed it. We sort of missed the dynamism in the middle of the park that we've had. Decore at the start of the season was great. Now he's absolutely bang average. And we come out of this international break hoping that these players have used this time to either get fit at Finch Farm or, practice an area that they've struggled this season. Maybe see a therapist and a psychoanalyst who will go through maybe their weak points mentally and try and change that into a winning or a driven mentality to get results. Who knows? And you've got the players that will go out on international break who may use this as an opportunity to confidence build if they've had a good break. Jordan Pickford. He gets criticised a lot. There's a lot of Arsenal fans that will sit here, a lot of football fans in general that will say, Aaron Ramsdale should be number one. No, he shouldn't. No, he shouldn't. No, he shouldn't. This time 2 years ago, Jordan Pickford shouldn't have been anywhere near the England team. I thought he was poor. I thought he was shocking at Everton, the amount of mistakes he used to make. But this season, I can't put this season on Jordan Pickford. Yes, he's made 1 or 2 mistakes. But they've been in games that actually haven't cost us because we've been so poor anyway. So I can't criticise him for that. So there is players that can take this confidence and go into these games going forward. That's key. That is major. Because if Everton don't kick on, We will go down. Like there is literally no sugarcoating it, no gap. Because if Everton this next week play, a very, very, very good West Ham side, very good, capable of beating anyone, home or away, on their day, no problem, like none. Then we go away to Burnley on Wednesday, and that to say that is a must-win is possibly the biggest understatement of this season, because Burnley, if they win that, they are literally breathing down our necks, and with Watford picking up results, we could be up shit creek. Then we got Man United on the Saturday, so it's a tough week. But Everton needs 6 points. Everton needs 6 points. I don't expect us to get a result at West Ham. I really don't. And I would love us to, obviously. I'd love us to get a result. I just don't think we will. But Burnley and Man United at home, massive games. Absolutely monumental games. And Everton are going to have to find an answer because, then when we play Leicester, and we got Liverpool and Chelsea, then Leicester again, and we finish the season at Arsenal. We've got 2 games postponed, and obviously they'll be done. Watford away and Crystal Palace at home. Again, 6 points. So Everton, in my opinion, if they can get a point a game on average, we'll be fine. But that's a huge ask. Absolutely monumental ask. Bearing in mind, I think at the minute our points per game is 0.88 or something, which is the lowest it's been, I think, since the mid-50s. So we need a radical change from Everton after this international break. And there's the games to do it. We've got a 4-point gap over Burnley. Genuine. We've played more games. We've played the same amount of games. 4 points. Watford are just 3 points behind us, but they've played 2 more games. Leeds are above us. Got 4 points more. But they've played 3 more. But they've managed to go to Wolves and get a result. Yes, you can argue about the red card, but they got the result. They scored 3 goals. Everton don't look capable of scoring 3 goals against anyone. So, massive week. And as we lead up to it and as we build up to it, we just need to see that little bit more grit, fight, determination, losing the ball, go and win it back. High press. If we're going to press high, make sure the team do it for 90 minutes, not just 20 at the start of the game. And if we're going to sit back, get the pace on the wings, get that counter-attack on the go. Let's see Nathan Patterson. Let's see what this kid can do. And let's not just give him 1 week, 1 game. Let's give him a few. Let's give him opportunities. So, well, that's where we are. Everton recording the biggest 3-year loss in football history. 376 million or whatever it is horrendous. Everton apparently won't have a points deduction, which is fine. The Premier League are fully aware of the situation. So again, it feels like we're being backed and we're being supported, even though we broke FSP. So that's been confirmed. I mean, we haven't just broke it. We broke it for 3 times the amount. It's a shocker. Over 3 times. Shocker. But it is, in my opinion, all down to Farhad Moshiri, because if the Premier League weren't as lenient, we'd be fucked. We'd have a points deduction, we'd be in the Championship, and we'd be over, like we'd be done. Because a new stadium in the Championship would be horrendous. Now, we're already potentially going there anyway, with FFP issues, but, apparently we'll have money to spend next summer, and I just don't understand how. I know we didn't spend a lot this summer, I get that, but it all seems odd to me. It seems very odd. We're going to have issues with sponsors as well and stadium naming rights. Look, the club's got issues top to bottom, but as fans, let's just keep our head on the football pitch. Keep backing the boys. See what they can do. And pray we stay up. I feel it right to talk about the ladies as well. I don't often talk about the ladies team. They've had a tough time of it this season. They brought in the guy from France, I think it was the Lyon manager, who'd done really well, Champions League winner, and said that he wanted to make Everton a top 4 side. What he did was poor. He ended up getting sacked midway through the season. And Everton had sort of scraping along with a team that on paper is a good side. So fairly similar to the boys. The girls are struggling yet again, the same. They go 1-0 up at Man United the weekend at Old Trafford. And I watched the game. It was a good game of football. Really competitive. Early kick-off. Love that. Just couldn't hold on and losing 3-1. So we're seeing a lot of it. We're seeing Everton as a club at the minute just struggling a little bit. And it would be really nice if we can just pull ourselves out. Even the Premier League too, we're struggling, and notoriously we've been successful in that. We've won that. I think we won that 3 in the last 6 years or something, and we're currently sitting 10th out of 14th. And the under-18s, again, this was a team that 2 years ago was sitting top of the league, or very high to the league, and they're currently sitting 7th. So again, Everton are struggling as a club, which is disappointing. So, guys, look, I'm leaving it there. Keep smiling. It's hard. And I'll see you for the next video. Peace.